Welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. Okay, well, let's jump into this. Today is lead generation, focusing on for sale by owners. And I'll go ahead and set the stage here. In this script, you are meeting with a homeowner who is trying to sell their home by themselves. Your objective is to support the homeowner while presenting the advantages of working with a professional real estate agent. Requirements are in-depth knowledge of the local real estate market, strong negotiation and communication skills, ability to effectively market and promote properties, understanding of legal and contractual aspects of real estate transactions. The intention is to present the homeowner as their real estate agent while being a resource for them should they choose to continue to represent themselves. So I didn't really read that right. So to represent the homeowner as their real estate agent while being a resource for them. So you're going to be a resource for them. I think I need to rewrite that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and break this out. It is a long script, so I'm going to get started early. All right, Derek and Nathan. How you doing, Nathan? How you feeling?
Okay.
Yeah, you getting over it?
Sort of. Last night I was hacking all night in bed, but I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah. All right. So we're not getting over it. We're getting through it.
That's right.
Boy, Nate.
There you go. Fight it. You're a winner.
But rest.
All right. Are you guys ready to go?
Yes.
All right, cool. So let's have Nathan be the homeowner and Derek, you'll be the seller. So Derek, you'll start us out and then we'll switch roles.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
And I liked our conversation yesterday, Derek, on our one-on-one. It was, I really liked the idea of, just taking a look at it, seeing where it goes. You guys know the drill. You're pretty much pros. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Nate, man, I appreciate you coming down to Lestats with me and touching base. How you doing today?
Doing great. I haven't been to this coffee shop in forever. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's pretty exciting. I love this area and stuff, and I'm excited. Selling your own home can be quite the journey, and I wanted to touch base with you and just kind of go over a few things. And it won't take long at all. But as you know, buddy, I'm here to assist you in any way I can. I'm here to assist you in any way I can. There are many significant advantages, to having an agent by your side when you are selling your home. Let me ask you something, Nate. What motivated you to try and sell your home on your own?
Honestly, I bought this house a couple years ago and just I want to just make as much as I can on reselling. I'm bummed I have to sell it, and so I didn't want to pay a realtor commission fees. I mean, frankly, so I felt like the market's still hot and I wanted to sell it on my own.
Okay. That's awesome. I heard of people doing that in the past. And do you have a good understanding of how to do all the contracts and, just the ins and outs of the marketing and, everything that goes into selling your own home? Have you done this in the past?
I've never done it before. And I definitely feel a little overwhelmed for sure. It's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it can be, and I can understand why you would want to save on those commissions. That's understandable, especially with their house being, worth anywhere from 900 to, 950,000. Look like that's what the comps were in your area. And as a homeowner, you want to maximize those profits. I completely understand that. But I do have to say, working with an agent, offers you many different benefits. For instance, we have access to the comprehensive market database. We work with other agents, so as we negotiate and market your home, we can do the best job possible. And like you said, you want to move this fairly quickly, so that's where we come in and can get you the right price in a timely fashion. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't really thought about it that way. So, yeah, I understand the reason why I might want to work with an agent, but I just can't get over that idea of paying someone 20 grand to sell my house.
I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you something, Nate. Do you work full time right now?
Yeah, I do work full time.
You work full time. What are you doing these days for work?
I sell flowers. I have a flower arrangement business, and I
Nice.
put together daisies and
Nice. That's pretty
plumerias.
awesome. I've always had my florist over here in North Park. I've been going to the same guy forever. A little pricey, but it has quality work. So I ask you that question, Nate, because I want you to understand that it can become overwhelming at times, especially if you want to move this in a fast period of time, and as an experienced agent such as myself, we can streamline the entire process, making it much less stressful for you. How does that sound?
Yeah, I hear the reasoning. I like I said, I can't get over, paying somebody to do that for me when I feel like I can figure it out for myself.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you could, Nate. You're a smart guy. I'm sure you could figure this out. It does take a lot of time and energy though. And, I just want to make sure you do have the time and energy to do that. For example, like if you were to choose me as your agent, I would take care of all the marketing for you, all the promotions, handle the open houses, handle contacting other agents, increasing buyers, increasing a competitive environment so that we can get more money for your house. What's your absolute goal? Is it time or money on this particular sale?
Time and money. My business
Yeah,
is
right.
struggling,
Time
and
is
I'd love
money.
to get this thing sold, next week. I guess you're right. I hadn't really thought too much about um, how to do the open houses, and really, I've already gotten 15 calls, and it's been just from neighbors who are thinking who heard I might be selling my house.
Yeah,
And so,
right.
I guess I kind of get that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I hear what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah, and quite frankly, Nate, the marketing aspect is one of my strengths. I'm really good on social media. I'm really good at picking up the phone and calling other agents and talking to them about the positive things of your house, such as the remodels and the renovations that you've done. And if we price this at a competitive market, which is what the information that I can give you, we can create basically we could create this environment where everyone comes in, checks out the open house. We could start to look at offers. You can only take the offers that you like, right? So it's still up to you. You're still in control of the situation. I'm just going to give you information, guide you through the process, and make sure that if this is something you want to do in the future, you're prepared and ready for it, But it would start with me helping you. How does that sound?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
And
I
also,
have a
Nate,
hard time
oh,
accepting
sorry.
help.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm sure you're really good at negotiations. In the flower market, it can be a little competitive with people trying to, get different prices. But houses negotiations can be a little bit bigger and a little bit more intense. And I think it's important that you have a good team in your corner. I think that here at Keller Williams, we really focus on our team environment. And, I have myself plus my mentors and coaches, and we all come together to create this amazing marketing strategy for you so that we can make sure we move this house in a 1 week, along with getting you the best price possible. So I really would love the opportunity to be your agent. You know, you came down to the coffee shop. I greatly appreciate your time and energy. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, you'll make the best decision, and I just hope I'm part of that decision. I'd love to, you know, I'd love to get the ball rolling just a little bit and get you some more information so we can build on what we currently have. So I do understand why you're, you know, you don't necessarily want an agent, but I'd love to help and support you. And, you know, I think it would be the best decision for you, Nate, to be honest.
Well, listen, I don't think I'm ready to pull the trigger, but I like what you're saying. Why don't you put together a basic idea of what you think the house will sell for?
Okay.
I would love to know what I'm going to net. I'll text you what I owe on the house, and you can maybe put something together. I'd really like to see your marketing strategy. So I don't know that that's going to be my strong suit, but I'd love to see how you're going to actually sell this house. So if you could put that together for me, I will review it, and then we can talk again. And I probably will have some more questions, and we can bring those up.
Absolutely, Nate. I appreciate you keeping an open mind, and I can get you this information later today. I can do what we call a competitive market analysis, a CMA, and you know, go around, check out the neighborhood, and see like homes that are about the same size as yours with a similar square footage. You know, get all those comps to you. We could come up with a game plan on a marketing plan, like you suggested, as well as I'll put together a listing presentation for you, so you can really get to see you know, what we would do for you and why it could benefit you. And I'd love to get that information over to you as soon as possible. I know you are, yeah, I know this is a high priority for you and it's a huge decision. And I appreciate you keeping an open mind, and I'll get you all that information later tonight. And I'll send that over. I can bring it to you personally if you'd like.
All right, I would love that. Thank you.
All right, Nate. Thank you so much, bud. And I'll talk to you soon. And I look forward to potentially working with you.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Great job. All right, let's reverse roles and have Nate be the agent and Derek, you'll be the FISBO.
Got
All
it.
right. I have a quick question. Is this homeowner, have they already listed their house? Because it says selling on your own can be quite a journey, but you're doing a great job handling it so far. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can. Have they already listed their house, or is this they're thinking about listing their house?
I was more or less thinking about listing their house.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, I mean, it could potentially be on the market, right? But if it's a for sale by owner, they're still not represented by an agent, which means
Right.
that they're fair game.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But you can take whatever approach you want. I mean, it depends on how Derek is going to answer the questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can stick to that. Like that's kind of how I addressed it, and Nate went along with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right, just curious.
Yep.
All right. Hey, Derek, how you doing, man?
Great, my man. What's going on?
Oh, the usual, surviving 4 kids. It's the normal craziness of life, I guess.
Yeah, you
Um,
sound a little under the weather. Everything okay?
yeah, no, I'm good. It's just a little cold. Gets
Oh,
cold
that's
out, and I don't. I'm from San Diego my whole life, and I don't handle cold well. So
this
as
is
soon as that
yeah.
temperature drops below 60, I start getting sick.
Yeah, and it was 37 degrees in my neighborhood this morning. Imagine that. Like it is almost freezing in San Diego. Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you taking time to meet with me about your house, man. It's so exciting. You're selling your house and you're gonna do it on your own, which I was shocked when I heard that, but it seems like you're doing a great job so far. I really just want to be a resource for you, to help you in any way that I can. There are some obvious advantages of having a real estate agent by your side. But I just was curious, what motivated you to want to sell it on your own?
You know, my neighbor did it last year, and
Okay.
he was pretty successful with it. He kind of went through the process with me a little bit, so I kind of learned from him. And I don't know, I just didn't want to pay those commissions. You know, like it could be a lot of money, and I just don't know if it's worth it, man.
Yeah. I hear that. That is such a common thing to hear and totally understandable. Great that you had a neighbor that did it. That is helpful. Do you still talk to that neighbor?
You know, not as much because they actually moved away. They went to Nashville, and I haven't really been staying in contact with them. And that was about 6 months ago.
Cool. Were you impressed with how much he got for the house? Like, how much did it sell for versus how much he listed it for?
That's a good question. I actually don't know exactly that information. I saw him go through the process and he didn't use an agent. And I actually don't know what he got for the house.
Cool. I would love to research that because I'm fascinated by this idea of a homeowner selling their house on their own. I think it's really cool, and definitely has some challenges. But anyways, why don't you just text me the address, or if you could just kind of tell me where it is in relation to your house. I would love to look it up and do a little bit of research, because I think there's a lot that goes into selling a house. And honestly, I didn't even know until I became an agent. And I'm looking through all these contracts and all of these data sets and market analysis, and it's just a surprising amount of information. It really blew me away. But I think one of the more interesting sides of things is when you actually get an offer, and even more so when you get more than one offer, the negotiation skills that go into getting those parties together, you included, and really coming up with a win-win situation for both sides, is a skill set that I've had to grow in and really learn. Anyways, have you thought about all the paperwork that's going to be required? I mean, are you familiar with all the different forms that you have to have on file, between you and the buyer, before you sell the house?
Well, yeah, I thought it was just like one contractor. So, he actually did have his wife helping him with a lot of the paperwork stuff. And, since I'm divorced, it's been a little tricky just trying to manage everything at first, but I feel like I
Yeah.
can pull it off though, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, I think that there's probably about 18 different documents that you have to have. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. Part of my team is a transaction coordinator, and working with her and with my broker, we make sure that we have all the paperwork in place for our clients so that they're protected. Did you know that 90 plus percent of all the lawsuits in California after a home sells come from buyers? So it's like buyers buy a house and then they get in and they start looking at the house like they live there now. And when there's a lawsuit, it almost always comes from a buyer who goes, "Oh my God, what did I get into? I didn't know this. I didn't know that." And I don't know how many of them are justified or okay, or real lawsuits, but that's pretty crazy. And so one of the biggest things that our broker educates us on is basically how to protect our clients from getting sued. And obviously, I have a vested interest. I don't want to get sued. So it's kind of a scary thing. Probably
Yeah.
been one of the biggest concerns that I've had as a real estate agent is, oh my gosh, I need to make sure that my clients are protected. And
Hmm.
so we go through disclosures like a fine-tooth comb, and we're making sure that every single I is dotted and every single T is crossed, because the last thing that I want to deal with is a lawsuit. I can't even imagine you as a homeowner having to deal with that. That's not fun. So that's been one of the biggest shocks to me, I think, in this industry. Have you felt any moments of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing yet? Or have you felt pretty good about it so far?
Let me just back up for 1 second. That is concerning, actually. Now that you bring that up, I hadn't really thought about, the legal aspects of it and
Yeah.
like getting in a lawsuit. Like, so you're saying if I was to go with an agent, then I would be protected. Like if something was to go wrong, like you guys would assume all this responsibility.
You have an increased protection. So um, the way that I've looked at it is that you have different levels of people who can get sued. It's kind of like when you bring a contractor in to do work on your house. I mean, ultimately, in the state of California, the homeowner is responsible for whatever work goes on there. But if you hire a general contractor, the first person that's going to deal with legal issues is that contractor because they are the ones that are taking the responsibility of the work. It's similar to having a real estate agent, a brokerage that works on your behalf. Now, if you lie, right? I can't stop you from lying, and I can't protect you from that either. But as long as you're truthful, honest, do everything, all of the documents as we request them, you tell the truth about the house, then yes, you are protected. And if I don't do paperwork right, if I don't present something correctly, then I am the one that takes responsibility for that. And I've got errors and omissions insurance that helps protect me in case I miss something or make a mistake, but that takes that risk, it mitigates that risk off of you and puts it onto me. So I can't say that you're
Sounds good.
100% covered because you're
Yeah.
still the homeowner. You still own the house.
Okay.
But we help to cover you to prevent those kinds of things from happening in the first place.
Wow. Yeah, that's great news there. And you know, I have to be honest, like I have had some concerns with the marketing aspect of it. And
Yeah.
you know, you mentioned negotiating. I feel like I'm a good negotiator, but I've never negotiated a house before. How difficult is it?
On a level of 1 to 10, I'd say it's probably about a 6. But my version of a 10 is negotiating a Pentagon deal with the federal government in China. So I think that it has definitely some levels of complexity that are difficult. It's not like you're trying to get the best price on a latte. You're trying to give an analysis of a home. And then you not only have the building itself, bedrooms, bathrooms, condition of the paint, condition of the pipes, condition of the electrical, condition of the flooring, but you also have the lot space and the actual land value. And so, yes, I think it can be complicated at times.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you there. And what about your marketing skill set? How have you done a good job marketing other homes in the past?
Well, yeah, of course I have.
Okay.
I'm
Good. That's
biased,
good to
but
hear.
yes, of course I
Yeah.
have. All the homes that I've listed
You
have
have
sold.
testimonials on that?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I can
Okay.
send those to you, no problem. In fact, they're all on my website. So I
Love
can
it.
send that to you and you can see. And I'd be happy to have you talk to any of my past clients. That's fine. I wanted to ask, yes, so I have a lot of experience marketing. In my previous life, I was a director of business development for a commercial landscape company and was
Mhm.
responsible for all the marketing in that world. So I have a lot of experience with marketing in general, but you're selling your house. What are you going to do to market the house? Are you going to do Facebook ads? Are you going to do print resources and mail them to all your neighbors? What are you planning on doing?
You know, I wasn't going to do the mailers. I was just going to start out by, not just letting my neighbors know I'm selling the home. And then, posted it on social media with my, 600 friends or whatever. I'm not like super into social media, but I know that has to happen. I've
Sure.
watched social media. I see a lot of postings. I was going to just like kind of copy and paste some other stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah. How are you going to get it on the MLS?
I hadn't thought about that. I think I was just going to go through like the Zillow options. Yeah. What's the MLS again?
Yeah, it's the multiple listing service. So it's
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
one of the ways that we market homes is we get these homes out to other agents, right? We want every agent in San Diego County to see your home. So not just potential buyers, but the agents that represent buyers as well, in addition to. So, and if you
Yeah.
decide to end up representing yourself, that's fine. I can help kind of point you in the right direction. I really want to be a resource for you. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I want to provide some of the red flags and concerns you should be concerned about, and then some of the resources that we have available. Now, listen, you can just hire me, and I will do all of this behind the scenes, and I will bring you potential buyers, and you stay in control of the whole process, and you decide whether you want to sell your house or not at the end of the day. But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that realtors are doing that you wouldn't have to deal with, like
Okay.
people in general, marketing the
Yeah.
property, getting it on the MLS, all of the photos that go up publicly for people to see, descriptions, contracts, paperwork, legal obligations,
Wow.
all of those things. And
You
that's
make
just
it sound so overwhelming.
it's a short list. It really is a short list.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you want to represent yourself, Derek, I totally respect that. And I just want to be a resource for you.
Nathan, I really appreciate your time and energy. Let me sleep on it
Yeah.
overnight. And but in the meantime, could you send me over that comparable market analysis and what you would do for you and what you've done in the past that's been successful for you?
Yeah. I also have a listing agreement that I would really love to get in front of you. I think having your eyes on it and being able to look at that while you're sleeping on it would be really helpful. So I will, why don't we go over that right now?
Boom. Let's do it. Let's do that right now. I only have about 5 more minutes, but we can jump into that right now. That sounds good.
Yeah, no problem. I can email it to you too. Thanks for your time, Derek.
All right, bud. See you soon.
See ya.
All right. First of all, there is no doubt in my mind Derek is going to list with you.
Yeah. He was really good.
Absolutely. Well,
Great energy.
you both were very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I like that you went with the legal aspects. I think that's a really good avenue to like scare people out of trying to do it themselves.
Yeah. We're just kind of remind them there are dangers there. You should be
Yeah.
aware of them.
Yeah.
There are, and just to kind of give everybody an idea of what I heard from Derek and Nathan, and Diana was listening in as well, so feel free for anybody to chime in on how you did as well. But to start out with, Derek, I loved how casual you are. I mean, I love the question about, what's your goal, time or money? And Nathan on your side, as far as I love the use of word shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by that word. I'm always fascinated by words that actually end with a hard K. And that was actually a comedy thing that I learned when I did stand-up comedy way back in the day. That when you end a word with a hard K, it's so abrupt and it stops the conversation in its tracks. So good use of that, like, because the question was, well, I was shocked when I heard that you were going to list your home. I was totally shocked, and it just made me think, you came from a place of curiosity, love the confidence in both of you. Uh, you, you know, and Nathan, you brought up some really good points. I'm kind of curious to know where you got your stat about 90% of lawsuits come after you buy the sale. And it had me thinking too. In fact, I just went online real quick and looked at, okay, what are the number one reasons why a lawsuit might happen, and you guys listed all of them, which are disclosures, disputes. They could be property condition issues that may have not been disclosed, contract disputes, and title disputes, and there's more, but those are the top four right there. And bringing in the experience. So I really have nothing else to say. I mean, I think both of you built a good rapport, and I think both of you would go with each other, to be quite honest. So
Yeah,
that's what
it
I
was
heard.
fun.
How did everybody?
The stat, I think Darren, that 64% of all statistics are made up on the spot. So I just no, Dan has mentioned that. I don't remember the exact stat, so that's why I said 90% plus, because I think he said it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 94% of lawsuits originate from buyers after a transaction's done. I can't remember exactly what the number was, but it was very high. So I
Yeah,
fluffed it a little bit. I don't have a source.
I'm pretty confident it would have cut. If Dan's quoting that, I'm confident that it would have cut him from a source like National Association of Realtors, or maybe even some stats that put out by San Diego Association of Realtors. But the truth is, the fact remains that most lawsuits will take place after the purchase, and it's because of one of those issues, like a
Yeah.
title, a disclosure, a contract, or something wrong with the property. How did everybody else do? Or what's your input?
I thought it was good. It's a little bit wordy, um, but we got through it. We kind of went off a little bit on our own, away from the script, especially Frida. She did a great job. Um, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Derek and Nathan, from what I heard, they stuck with the script, but it was not word for word. So I
Right.
expected everybody to go off on this one because, that's what it is. Diana, you were able to listen in. What'd you think?
I mean, actually, my mom was sitting next to me and she's like, oh, yeah, those are really good reasons. And so I had someone that was like a non-agent third party listening. And she's like, these people are really practicing and they sound very confident. And she was loving it. I was loving it as well because you forget about the legal aspects. And it's not just about, you know, trying to get convincing the owner to work with you. It's, hey, there's ramifications, there's, potential liabilities in the future that you might not know about. And that is super key to not scare the homeowner, but just remind them that there is a risk after the transaction's over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pay me the money to bear that risk for you. I'm the one that's insured. I'm the one that has the E&O and protection. I'm the one that has the broker, the coach, the mentor, the everything, right? I'm the one going through I'm the one that has the education. You know, I put myself through all these courses, principles, practice, laws, and then continued education to bear that responsibility so that you don't get in trouble personally if it comes down to it. Ideally, right? Now, if they're lying to you, you know, and you don't know about it, then that's another issue to deal with. But in the end of the day, I think everybody did a great job. So you would have had me sold, both of you, for sure. All right. Well, I think Frida, are you asking a question? You're on mute.
Sorry, I just had one question about the resources. We said we could be a resource for them. What do we mean by that?
Anybody want to take that on?
Well, when Frida asked me, I told her that we would be a resource for vendors if they need like a landscaper. But as far as the contract itself, negotiating, that's something that I can't assist with unless we're in contract.
Yeah, and I would recommend providing price guidelines. So if they're like wondering how much to sell their house for, just giving them an RPR or something like that with a more detailed comp analysis would be a resource that would help them. And even if they don't choose to list with me, I love the idea of being of them referring me to somebody where they go, man, that's cool. You're selling your house yourself. I could never do that. I want to sell my house though. And they go, dude, I just talked to a great realtor who totally helped me, even though I didn't use them. So I think comp analysis, marketing ideas, resources for vendors is huge.
Absolutely. You could also offer to be their buyer's rep. So if a buyer comes in and they want to sell them the home as a FSBO, you can represent them. You represent the buyers that are purchasing from them too.
When I think of myself as a new agent in my very first transaction, there were emails flying back and forth between title and the lender and everyone. And I'm like, what is going on here? I was having a hard time keeping up with all the info. My guess is a for sale by owner would maybe working with someone that is represented by an agent, right? The buyer has an agent. It wouldn't necessarily be like a buyer on their own, and therefore it'd be just between directly buyer and seller. So then this homeowner would probably have to be looped in some of those emails, right?
I would say no.
No?
Mm-mm.
I think if they depend to loop them in, it's kind of up to them, right?
So why would they keep them out of the process? Because they're representing themselves. They would need to be in the know as to what's going on with the sale. That's what my thinking would be.
Not
Chances are this is what's going to happen if you're going to represent a buyer and the listing person is a homeowner listing for themselves. Chances are you're probably going to take over the whole transaction just to make sure everything goes smoothly. So I would still keep everyone in the loop, just to be full disclosure. At the same time, I would talk to my broker and ask, hey, what's the right thing to do here? You know,
Yeah,
and it might
because then aren't you divulging like your buyer's motivations and all that?
Yeah, there's another fine line too, because when you read the contract, you're not allowed to um, um, share each other's motivations. Like even asking the question. I mean, I know it's a fine line, but even asking the question, just out of curiosity, why are you moving? Right? You ask a person why they're moving, and if a buyer comes and says, "Hey, why are the homeowners selling?" and there's a motivation behind why they're selling. So really, per the contract, we shouldn't be even sharing that with a buyer as to why a seller is moving. The bottom line is, do you like this house? Do you want to make an offer on this home? Because what's the difference whether they're moving to Texas or to New York or wherever, right? It doesn't matter. Do you like the house? That's why when it comes down to personal letters and sending family pictures and things like that, you know, pulling on people's heartstrings, it's also kind of discriminating in that way, and we can't accept those.
But it does matter if they lost their job and can't afford their house and they need to sell quickly, then you're like, oh, well, then I can go in with a lower offer and they might just take my low offer. But it does matter in that respect.
Absolutely. It does matter, and they don't need to know that either.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. Hey, you guys did a great job. We are 8 minutes over. This was a fantastic script practice today, and I highly recommend everybody going back and listening to Nathan and Derek, as well as some of these questions and comments that we're discussing here, because they're super important. So good job on all of this.
Nice. Have a
That's it
great
for
morning,
today.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
You.
All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, mentor, CPA, or attorney. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, California DRE number 018534445.